Hello and welcome back, and in this video we're gonna basically start connecting our pieces together. So let's go ahead and head over to our view controller, and we're gonna start by adding a few things at the top of the view controller. So first thing we're gonna add is the location manager. Okay, so we're going to initialize as the location manager as soon as this view controller class is created. Then we're going to call our API manager, and then we need to basically have our weather object for weather response, and this is going to be optional. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this. This is API manager. There we go. Okay, so now you have these three. So first two are basically the managers that we have created. One to access users location and get the location permission sorted out, and the second one is to call the API endpoint to get the weather information, and then you have the weather response that we're gonna cache. Okay, so now we have basically these three main components added to our view controller. Now we're going to make our view controller conform to weather view delegate protocol that we actually created. So weather view delegate was created right here, and it is basically responsible for defining the function, or the operation that's going to happen whenever a user taps on the UI, which is did tap. So whenever they tap on the button get weather, what happens in that case? So that definition needs to be provided by the view controller, because it's going to be the one extending the functionality. So we're going to create an extension here called for view controller. In this extension, we're going to actually conform to weather view delegate protocol, and we're going to basically provide so Xcode is going to help us. Let's stub the conformance, and there we have the conformance ready. So this is where we're going to provide the functionality that we need to provide whenever the weather button is tapped. Okay, so once again, when we go into the delegate, we have this delegates reference inside the weather view, and whenever a user is tapping on the button, we are actually calling that delegates did tap fetch weather function, and the implementation belongs to now view controller. So whatever we define in the view controller will be executed. Okay. All right, so let's now the conformance is sorted out, so let's go into our view did load, and we want to make sure that weather view dot delegate is assigned to self, meaning it's basically the view controller's responsibility to provide that delegate definition. Now inside the did tap fetch weather, we can actually start using our managers that we have created. So first thing is basically the location manager. We're gonna reach out to the location manager and ask it to request users location. So if this is the first time when users location is being requested, in that case the permission dialog box will show up, and user can basically make a decision whether they want to allow us to fetch their or access their location or not. If this is not the first time, then it's simply gonna request a location. Okay, then we're gonna actually create a task block which will help us execute our async await functions. Then we're gonna take our weather, which is the weather response right here. Let's update it to weather response just to avoid any confusion. So let's take our weather response, okay, and we want to actually populate this. We're gonna await on something, and that something is basically the API managers get weather for latitude and longitude. Now at this point, because location manager has requested the location, it has the information about the location, and it has the information about latitude. So we're gonna actually use that to pass the latitude that user has requested. Since this is an optional, if it doesn't exist, then we're gonna simply have 0 here, and we're gonna do the location manager dot location dot latitude, longitude, same with 0 as the nil coalescing operator. Okay, and then we're gonna basically start populating our labels for the weather view. Okay, so we're gonna start by having our weather view. So we're gonna reach out to the weather view by taking that reference, and then we're gonna populate the weather label, and its text is going to be weather response dot weather, and this is basically so let's take a look at the response itself. So when we get the weather response, we actually get the weather. Okay, there is an array of weather which is basically represents multiple days. We are reaching out to its 0th index, so 0th index for the weather, and then what we want to do is we want to reach its main weather condition. This is where we are actually showing the weather condition, so we're gonna reach to the main object for that response. Okay, then we're gonna have our weather view dot temperature label. Its text is going to be okay, so dot temperature, there we go. Okay, and we're gonna have a degree Fahrenheit here, so let's go ahead and add that degree Fahrenheit right here. Okay, there we go. So we have, like, temperature label. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it, and I'm gonna use this for our min max label as well, and I'm gonna say min is the min temp. Okay, and then we're gonna have comma. Okay, and max is gonna be the max temp. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So we have our min max temperature now showing up, and let's do weather view dot wind speed and text, and basically our wind speed is going to be, there we go. I was hoping that Xcode will help us. So wind speed with response dot wind dot speed. If nothing, then 0 miles per hour. Then let's do weather view dot humidity label text, and let's see if the predictive model kicks in. There we go. Okay, so humidity, so weather response dot main dot humidity, and if not, then 0%. Okay, and we also want to basically make sure that we have our weather view dot activity indicator, because activity indicator is going on at this point, so we want to stop animating. And I guess there's one more view that is missing. Let me see. So our weather view has a title label. Okay, so let's update the title label, because we have the title. So weather view dot title label dot text is equal to, let's see if weather response can get us. So location dot city, not really actually. Let's take a look at the weather response. I believe it is part of the main response, so name. Okay, I think it is. Yeah, the name. Okay, so now we have basically our weather that we are actually trying. Now there's one problem here, that we are actually trying get this response. But if you notice, the get weather actually can throw an error. Okay, and it can throw an error because URL session can throw an error. Okay, so we are not handling any of that here. So let's go ahead and take all of this and wrap it inside do try catch. So do try catch. Now in the catch we actually get the error, so we are gonna print that error in the console to make sure we know what's going on. Error getting weather, and actually the predictive model was trying to help me. There we go, weather data error. And then we can actually take the weather view activity indicator. We still want to stop the animation on the activity indicator at this point. Okay, so with that we have actually finished everything that we need to do in order to try out this app. So let's go ahead and build and run, and let's see what we get actually. So we're gonna wait for the simulator to launch, and there we have it. I'm running in the dark mode, and this is our launch screen, and it's actually showing it's much better than showing like a blank black screen or a white screen. And there we go, we have, like, you know, the weather data. So get weather is actually going to try to get the weather, and as you can see, it's basically, this is the dialog, and this is the messaging that we have actually provided: location access to show local weather. So we're gonna say allow while using the app. Okay, and right now it's getting the weather for the globe because we have not provided the location. So let's go ahead and change the location and get the weather. So there we go, we have weather for Mumbai right here, which doesn't seem correct. It's like 302 degrees Fahrenheit is quite a lot. So what could be the reason? So let's go ahead and take a look. Yes, this is the problem. We are not specifying the unit. Okay, so sorry, the unit is gonna be metric. Okay, so we're gonna basically say, and the unit is metric. Okay, all right, so we are not using that, so that's good. That's a good suggestion. So we're gonna take that, and let's go ahead and leave it like that, and build and run. And what we should get is basically the next time when we are launching the app, and we have choose, like, you know, let's choose Mumbai, India again, and gonna go get weather, and there we have it. We have much better, like, you know, manageable temperature, 28 degrees, and humidity is 65. It's haze. Let's change this to maybe Tokyo, and let's get the weather for Tokyo. And then we have, like, you know, weather for Tokyo, and as you can see, the weather for Tokyo is cloudy. Let's get a weather for let's get it for San Francisco. Okay, so weather for San Francisco is 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that doesn't seem right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Fahrenheit is quite low. Okay, so let's first check out a few things. So first of all, let's check out our view controller, and we are saying weather for, so we're going to remove that. This is like something that that predictive model added. So that's one thing. Let's check out the API itself. So we can actually print the endpoint. So let's go into our API manager. Right here, we're gonna print the endpoint. So URL dot, actually let's print the URL. Okay, so we're going to print the URL and let's go ahead and use that URL inside the browser to see what kind of response we get. Okay, so we're gonna basically change this to San Francisco and get the weather, and there we have it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the weather response. I'm gonna paste it right here, and this is what we get. So the information is being shown correctly. Let's see. All right, so we have actually its definition. So yeah, actually, you know what? I got confused between metric and imperial. It is imperial. So let's go ahead and change that, and let's go ahead and rerun. And notice that since we already allowed the app to use the location information, whenever we are tapping this button, we are not presented with the same dialog, whether we want to access your location or not, because that is already been provided. So as you can see now, we are actually seeing the correct data, and you saw a bit of a debugging, like, you know, how we can debug our apps. But essentially right here now we are seeing 54 degrees. Let's go ahead and check out Tokyo again. So get weather, and there we have it. It's 84 degrees. I'm gonna go back to Mumbai and see how it feels. 84 degrees. Okay, so yeah, Mumbai and Japan, like, you know, pretty much close to, like, you know, close in the temperature. Okay, all right, so with that we have reached the end of this course, and thank you so much for staying on with us on this journey and learn how to use URL session to fetch the responses from the internet, from the API endpoints, and also how to use CoreLocation and integrate CoreLocation to fetch the current location's weather information. All right, with that, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in another video course.